So that's the a run through of the process itself, and this is from the guide perspective. So what we're going to do is now we're going to execute this guide. So all I need to do is I've saved it and published. Once you publish, you'll get this run guide link, and you'll also get some iframe embed code if you want to run this in another application. Actually, I should just also point out in the properties, if you want to run this on a mobile device, you could just switch it to smartphones here, and it will automatically optimize the UI to be delivered on a HTML5 compliant mobile device. So let me just click Run Guide, and you'll see we'll land on the first step here. So just like our simulation, we've got a first step where I just created some bullets to show what the guide does. So just to run through, we're going to provide a property GUID for Edge. We're going to log into Edge. We're going to retrieve the property details from the API. We're going to then traverse the response to find the owner of that property. And then we're going to do a separate API call to get back the company details for that owner. Then we're going to use that information to create a new account to represent that owner in Microsoft Dynamics Online. And then we're going to take all of that information, including the Edge ID and the newly created Microsoft Dynamics ID, and actually persist those in SQL Server so that we can view those in a table. And there are a couple of other use cases that this guide has been built to support, such as the DAS search. The reason for that is because I found that the IDs for Edge were quite different to the IDs for DAS. So I actually just did that as a separate search path where you can enter a DAS company ID and retrieve the results. So we'll take a look at that path as well. And then we have the ability to view any accounts that have been persisted in SQL Server. And I just did that for convenience, really. Okay, so if I click continue, it's actually logged into DAS. So we've gone to the next step. It's done a service call out to, sorry, not to DAS, to Edge, my mistake. Logged into Edge, and it's also then returned us this token. That's the session token for the new authentication that we've just issued there. And if I then go through here and I'm going to paste that in there and click continue. So it's now going to call off, it's called off and retrieve the information about that property. So I can see the name, I can see the area and various other different attributes, and I can also see the owner is a company called Transwestern Commercial Services. So in this case, I'm just going to click continue. It's now going to make a second call to Edge using the same session, and it's retrieved the company information about this owner. So I can see their main address here and their phone number, the number of employees, and some notes about this account as well. So that's all of the interaction that we need in Edge right now. So what we're now going to do is take this information that's now held in memory, and we're going to use it to create a new account in Microsoft Dynamics. So it's making it's doing a login, and it's also automatically creating this new account via a SOAP API call. So I've now got a new ID for this, and it's also showing me the custom organization URL for our POC Dynamics environment. So if I just hop over to Dynamics, I'm just going to do a quick refresh. You see we've got some examples in here. When I do this refresh, we're going to have another newly created example here, which is Transwestern Commercial Services, and you can see the phone number we've passed through. If I just click through to that, you can see here that where are we? So you can see that it got created today. Let me just see if there's any additional information there. Details. Okay, so fairly limited information that we're committing at the moment, apart from the phone number. And yeah, so look, let me go through to this one again. And so we've got the phone number there, and this account's now successfully been created. And if I just do a quick email a link here, let me see if this comes up. So I think you'll see if we go back to the ID here, which ends 106C, you can see here included in the link is that same GUID is basically defined here. So just again, just showing that did get created in real time. So now we've got this Dynamics account that's been created. We want to use that information again. Now we've got everything in memory now. So we've got all the details back from Edge. We've got active sessions in Edge and DAS. Sorry, not DAS, Dynamics. And then we've also got the newly created account record in Dynamics. So what we're going to do is use everything we've got in memory to import that into SQL Server. And so just again to show you here, if I go over to our server that we've got the agent installed in, and I'm just going to run a quick execute to show you there's no records in there at the moment. Now, when I do this import to SQL Server, it's going to take that and do a straight insert. And then it's going to do a query to show me the record that's been created. And you can see here we've got the Edge ID for the owner, and we've got the newly created GUID for the Dynamics, and the account for Transwestern. So if I go back here and just rerun that query, you can see here that we've got the account and the auto increment there and those IDs. So that's the end-to-end process. Let's go back to the beginning again, and we're now just going to do a DAS example. So if I click DAS search, it's actually going to call again, log in, get an active token for DAS, and then ask for input. Now I've noticed that the DAS authorization does seem to take a little bit of time, regardless of how I call it. Even if I call it in a REST-based client, that initial issue of the token does take a few seconds. So it's come back, we've got the token, and it's asking for a valid company ID. So let's get one from my clipboard here. I'll paste that in and click continue, and it's just going to do the call out to DAS and retrieve the results. Again, I've noticed it's a bit slower than Edge or Dynamics, so it's not cloud real time, but just to let you know. Okay, so we've got Aviva. If I was to change the ID here, let's say we do another one, and I don't know if this will work, but do another search. Oh, there you are. So we've got a completely different record there. And the same is true, if we go through and let's say we do, let me restart. Put the property ID in. There you are. So we've got a different one there. There we are, so Robert, click continue, and then it brings back the details about Robert. We create it in Dynamics. Again, because we've already got these active session tokens now, you can see how much quicker it is to actually go through the end-to-end flow. We keep all of that in memory, and we've now persisted this additional record in SQL Server.